Ladies and gentlemen, I sent you, Dave, that whole Nazi thing. You know, the cigar-shaped crap that people are seeing? Those schematics I sent you, Dave, were from 1947.
And that seems like it's almost 20 years ahead of its time in terms of when this was being reported in the media.
Well, and not only that, but I think even more importantly than that is that at that point they were talking about some of these craft being able to go 300,000 kilometers an hour. I don't think that was lost on you. So when I sent you this, and, you know, I'll send you the link, or I already have sent you the link, but you can put it up if you want, you know, however you release this show. I think it's important for people to see this because, you know, again, when I wrote the book Empire Beneath the Ice, which, by the way, is gone worldwide, and there's no way, and I give God the glory for this, there's no way I could have known ahead of time that this was going to happen, you know, that all this would be released, and I think it's important that people understand what's going on in the Antarctic is pivotal to disclosure, but it's also pivotal to the alien domination. How many years have we seen that? Now, in what I sent to Dave, I sent him the signature piece by H. Kohlmeyer, and under the signature field, and basically there was 1,300 copies of this special laboratory report. But one of the most important things was basically the Reich-Deutschen map, basically, from the cave of the Earth, gives a step-by-step guide, I'm reading this, to reach the inner world of, ready for this, Agartha using a U-boat. Now, Dave, it was absolutely so specific in their descent angles, in their speed, in the amount of direction they have to go. Did that not surprise you? This is a submariner instructions, and they said it's imperative, that's strict to follow. Now, when you saw that, what was your first thought?
You know, you may laugh at me, Steve, when I say this, but I was reminded of the old Jules Verne movie when they descended to the center of the Earth. And
you're right on.
Unknown pathways and so forth, and specific directions to follow. That's what it put me in the mind of when I first saw it.
Do you remember the old Doug McClure movies where basically the land before time and the land that time forgot?
Yes.
Doug McClure was what was his name? He was on The Big Valley. And he was a blonde-haired guy, but he did 2 movies, possibly 3, and if people want to go look on the Internet, they can find them. But the thing is that they get picked up, I think, either whaling or the ship sinks, and they get picked up by Nazi U-boats, and they're taken into this land that time forgot. And they would have had to have been familiar with some of this stuff, Dave. So we're talking about, you know, a theme that was in Hollywood, and I think these movies were made in the late 50s. If I remember right, maybe possibly early 60s. But again, it's astonishing to me that how much of the Hollywood screening and scripting was based around even this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and Dave can put it up, but again, I'll put it up one more time as a headline after we go off the air. But I'm sorry, Dave, it depends on whether this plays, but you have it. But in the document that I saved, and sent to Dave, it shows the different from Hanubu 1, 2, 3, and 4, the original flying saucer designs that the Nazis re-engineered. Now, you know, people can laugh, they can lie, but what we were talking about earlier, Dave, was the Andromeda device, which literally holds multiple spacecraft and literally has multiple, if you will, pilots, and it tells exactly that this thing can hold 130 men. It's got world capability of 100%. And, you know, the idea is that this is so much farther. Theoretically, speed would be 300,000. Here's where everybody's 300,000 kilometers per second. I'll break it down for you. That's light speed.
Is that light speed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's
186,284 miles, you know, per hour. Actually, it's even faster than that. So and then they go on to say that the unknown is literally unlimited. that the range is unlimited.
If you're introducing light speed here, you're also talking about time travel.
Well, and by the way, the Nazis perfected Stargate technology in 1945, 46. The movie Hellboy, and I've talked about this before, but I was told by multiple four-star generals, active duty and special forces, that the device in Hellboy, where it shows the Nazis basically and their U.S. GIs watching on as two people step through the gate. One of them looks like Dr. Zarkov. You know, I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but from Flash Gordon, and the woman looks like the typical blonde, black leather coat, vamp. And so the thing is that it's really important that understanding this, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about December 1944. Now, I want to skip to an article that's also in this, Dave, and if you want to put it up or whatever you want to do with, your own articles, but the UFO secret revealed, and it was from 1988, the National Examiner. But here's where it gets interesting. I'm quoting the last paragraph. The aliens helped the Germans possibly because they were at a certain technological development stage. Perhaps they were technologically speaking a similar language. Friedrich believes that Hitler's last battalion will come into action when the world is deep in an economic crisis. Then the space Nazis will occupy strategic points in the world and will rule the world. Now, that's pretty interesting. That's almost pretty close to 35 years ago, correct? I'm sorry, 29, 30 years ago about. But what's even more astonishing, when I was doing the investigation for Rudolf Hess, who spent his life, obviously, in Spandau prison, he had gone to the British government as an emissary to try and get the British to have a truce and talk the Americans into it because of this great revelation understanding. And I want to make it clear, the Nazis got the majority of their technology, according to Ober and according to Dr. Werner von Braun and others, from, quote, aliens and spirit entities, okay? They make it very clear, Dave. And I catalog it, I basically footnote it, and you can read about it. One of the reasons why my book, Empire Beneath the Ice, and I'm not just giving a book report, but I'm telling people has gone over worldwide, is because even as people are reading the book, the headlines concerning Antarctica are, if you will, establishing the punctuation in real time. It's like not only are they reading the book, Empire Beneath the Ice, but the headlines of the day are basically attenuating it. And so, the Empire Beneath the Ice is now upon us. So the tracking of different events going on in Antarctica, and by the way, this is a big, big secret, yet the secret's out because there are people in the military, as you know, when the truth is out there, there are people that will eventually get the truth out. Now, unfortunately, Americans' reality deficit disorder has basically made them numb and dumb to real history, and so they believe history is what they see in a video game console on their 60-inch TV that's watching them play, listening to them play. And I tell people this, remember this, everyone, when you're playing video games, the video games are playing you. Dave, I used to tell people this, and they thought I was crazy. And you know how it's like, no matter what you tell people, you're damned at the beginning, and then you're ridiculed kind of in the middle, and then at the end, they basically claim it's their revelation, and what did you know in the first place? So understand that with brainwave technology and brainwave monitoring and brainwave, let's just call it brainwashing, or brain impartation of extracranial thoughts, processes, and patterns, you're being programmed. Again, I know this. I got to be redundant here. It's not that you're just playing the video game is playing you.